Evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Peter Murray, and
And Tracy Lewin, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Well, I nearly fainted this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because this Bitcoin price is so exciting. It's incredible what's going on and what's happened this week, Peter.
Well, it's just a matter of time, and we're going to talk a little bit about it tonight. The Bitcoin price are finally getting some traction, and that's what we've been waiting for.
Absolutely. Wow.
And the snoozers are going to be losers.
Yes.
So let's start.
Cool.
So, yeah. So, what do you say, Tracy? What do you see? You say you almost fainted. What are you hearing from people in the market?
Well, you know what? There's a hang of a lot of excitement at the moment because obviously there's a lot of people that have been sitting on the sidelines and they've been watching the price. As much as the people have been saying that it's a volatile currency, but yet it hasn't displayed that. The last couple of months it's actually been very, very stable. And people have been sort of like watching it and being a little bit bored as well. And there's always the naysayers and the negative people that come out at that time. But we just knew, besides all of that, there's been many experts that have been saying, you know what, this is so undervalued. And what happened is all of a sudden the Bitcoin price has just taken off. So, I'm getting many, many messages every day saying, how can I get started? Where do I start? What do I do? And so there's a lot of activity at the moment and a lot of excitement about Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm very bullish too.
Well,
I
anyway,
know you are.
before we chat a little bit further about the Bitcoin price, why don't you tell us tomorrow? Tomorrow, you guys are having your Women in Bitcoin show, and I've seen you've there was quite a few interesting blog posts about women and things are really, your show is hotting up. I can see a lot of people coming to your group
Yeah.
and people watching your show.
Yes, actually it is. We're getting some good feedback as well. And
Mhm.
basically what we've been doing over the last few weeks, we've been looking at how you can earn with Bitcoin, the different methods of earning. And, also some stuff to uplift people because there's a lot of stress out there. Times are tough, people are struggling. And really, as far as I'm concerned, the answer is actually in Bitcoin. So, yeah, I'm hoping that more and more women get involved. The statistics out there are that, and in fact, it's also one of our Bit Media statistics is that men are sitting at around about 80% of men are watching our shows, and yet only 20% women. So we really need to up those numbers because there's so many benefits for women getting into Bitcoin. And we'll go through all those things in the show. So please, I don't want to talk too much about the show, and if you could just even go back to our first one. We're on our 7th one tomorrow. It's amazing how time flies.
Yes, I see you have a playlist where people can actually go and see all of them, all seven episodes.
Yes.
So, that is great. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show, the seventh show. So, yeah, that's going to be great.
Thank you, Peter.
Well, Tracy, I've been talking about, remember the Ides of March and saying that, people have to be careful. They're going to be caught. We're a little bit out, but with timing, maybe if 20 days or so. But now it really seems as if the Bitcoin price wants to, start moving. And the three big factors that I mentioned last time was consumer adoption, institutional adoption, and investor adoption. And doing the news and everything we do. I mean, I don't even. I've stopped counting how many times we've seen new companies and new businesses getting involved in the blockchain, and new investment funds getting involved in Bitcoin, and also all the stories about consumer adoption is just amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible, Peter.
So
Absolutely incredible.
Bitcoin is really becoming a mainstream now, and I think back to my question when I started, what's next for Bitcoin? I think there's two factors that's going to make the Bitcoin price really move. That and really take it mainstream. Coming up, besides the stuff we've already mentioned, the first thing that I want to mention is that is mainstream media. Bitcoin coverage so far in the media has always been leaning towards every time there's something happening that goes wrong, that's
Yes.
when Bitcoin got some coverage. A Bitcoin exchange goes bankrupt, or somebody buys drugs with Bitcoin, or somebody does something that they shouldn't be doing. Then all of a sudden it's in the news. But really, mainstream media hasn't been doing real documentaries and stuff on Bitcoin, and we see that changing now with journalist programs and stuff like that, actually starting to educate people as well, and I'm teaching them about Bitcoin and what can be done with Bitcoin.
Yes, exactly. We had a program that happened this week, in fact, on Sunday, and it's a very popular South African program. And, it was very, very powerful, very, very positive, got the message out to quite a number of people. And actually, for me, I just thought the fact that they've actually got it on this program meant that, people are interested. They've had requests, wanting the guys to investigate Bitcoin. So I think it's fantastic. The more we talk about it, the more people hear about it and actually then end up doing something about it.
Well, I tell you what, if you can, if BBC Panorama or any of those any of the BBC shows pick up on Bitcoin and do a proper a documentary on it, the 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 actual adoption we'll see then will really skyrocket.
Yes.
And it's just a matter of time. It's happening already. There's more and more articles on Bitcoin. People are talking about it, and it's becoming more and more mainstream. Bitcoin is now becoming. People are reporting on Bitcoin as like with any other currency in any other news, and it's just a matter of time before it's been discussed on Reuters and Bloomberg and CNBC and places like that, and it's going to be really really exciting.
Well, I just feel that we are really at the start of something absolutely enormous. And I just, this is real goosebump stuff for me, because how often in your life do you get an opportunity to be in the forefront of something so massive and so life changing, and actually something that's going to change the world?
Tracy, people are so quick to use the words, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity and things like that, and it's usually linked to hype. But I tell you what, I can't say it enough with Bitcoin. This is really a unique technology, and I don't think we have the first sense of an idea of how big this is. This is absolutely huge, and it's going to be bigger still than any of us realize. And I keep on repeating the same thing. If you're not involved in Bitcoin, at least get an education. Get yourself involved and find out what is going on, because it's going to be all over. That's all you're going to hear soon.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? You just have to start.
Well, the thing is also what shows me now that Bitcoin has really become acceptable, and that's the second part of adoption that I wanted to talk about. We know consumers are using it. You can buy almost anything now with Bitcoin. You've got all these cards that are linked to Bitcoin. You have institutions that are using the blockchain, and you have like investors. Like I said, the media is getting involved, and now lastly, what I call regulation adoption, or adoption by governments. You know, um, uh, Regulation is such a good thing for Bitcoin, because it brings it into the mainstream of real businesses. And we just heard this week that one of the big Bitcoin exchanges, Bitstamp, passported into Europe via Luxembourg. Got a European license as a money exchange, and now are regulated or have a licensing in 28 European countries.
Yes, I saw that, and that's incredible, Peter.
You'll see more and more of that. If you remember, about a week or 2 weeks ago, there was another company called Circle that received a license from the UK regulator and teamed up with Barclays Bank in the UK to provide the same type of blockchain services and money exchange services. They also started as a Bitcoin company. So there is a lot of these things are going to happen, and it's just going to explode as more and more businesses get mainstream. All the big banks are involved. The investment banks like Goldman Sachs are heavily invested in a business like Coinbase. So that is really, the next wave of things that are coming. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and I think the other thing that makes that put a little bit of fire under the price now is, I think, one of the reasons why the price weren't running earlier is because there was a bit of uncertainty about this whole block size halving and the everything that's happening in July, and people were saying that might slow the Bitcoin network down, and there are going to be all kinds of problems and stuff like that. And I think now people are realizing that these were just teething problems. And just like the internet in the beginning, or email in the beginning, these problems are sorting themselves out. And they're not as you know, they're not the problems that people thought they were. They're actually just a little bit of a hiccup here and there. And the technology smooths it out over time.
Well, also, there are a few people arguing about the blockchain out there, and really, it's that is just the fact that this just shows you that this doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to the people. So you need to have a whole bunch of people agreeing or voting, because it's a democracy, and that's why you're always going to come up with somebody who doesn't like whichever way somebody else is going, because they have to agree at the end of the day. They have to agree to make it work.
Absolutely. And and all I can say to people now is, guys, please don't fall behind. You're losing out on a tremendous opportunity. Make sure you get yourself educated at the very least. Like we always say, just follow us on Facebook, follow us on social media, our YouTube channel. That education is all free. And if you're looking to make some additional money, get involved with Bittech. We are here. You can send us a message. We'll answer your questions. And this is really a great opportunity. And just talk to us.
Yes, just talk to us. And actually, if you guys are not on, well, I'm sure you're on Facebook. That's why you're actually watching this as well. So go to our Facebook pages. We really do try to get as much information out as possible. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's a short hangout this evening, Tracy. But I think the main message is, adoption is going all over the board. Bitcoin is going mainstream, and the prices are beginning to rise, which is really gonna, is already sparking huge interest.
Yes, exactly. No, it's very, very exciting times that we're in. I mean, I must say, I keep on checking the price right through the day. That's just keep thinking, and all I can hear is cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. Let's just say this. I'm in Bitcoin long term. I'm not. I'm waiting for that when the price goes to $10,000, and then $100,000, and then $1 million a coin.
Yes,
So that's still a long wait, but I'm waiting it out.
you're in for the long haul.
I'm in for the long haul. This is really jokes aside, this is really a very, very important and serious technology that we are probably, will never see something like this again in our lifetimes.
Yeah, definitely in our lifetimes, Peter. I totally agree with you there. And yeah, so is that it for tonight then, Peter?
Yeah, that is it for tonight. Like I said, just go to the person that invited you if you're listening to this, and we see you on the inside.
Yes, absolutely. See you on the inside. Cheerio then.
Cheerio.